My wife started charging me cooking and cleaning fees after reading a blog demanding Venmo payments for dinner. I agreed. Then I sent her an invoice for rent, utilities, internet, and car payments. She owed me $2,500 by the end of the month. And then I-34 mail was sitting in my car in the driveway after a 10-hour shift. The engine was off. The neighborhood was quiet. Then my phone buzzed. It was a Venmo request from wife. 32 female for $35. The note attached simply read, roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, and emotional labor. I stared at the screen. $35. For a dinner I bought all the groceries for. I walked through the front door. The house smelled great. Wife was sitting at the kitchen island scrolling on her phone. She didn't look up when I came in. "Hey," I said, setting my keys down. "What's with the Venmo request?" She locked her screen and crossed her arms. I read a blog today. It was written by a sociologist. It broke down the exact financial value of unpaid domestic labor that women are forced into. Cooking, cleaning, mental load. It's exploitation. Starting today, I'm billing you for my services. If you don't pay the request, I'll put your portion of the food in the trash. I stood there processing. For some context, I pay the mortgage completely. I bought this house 3 years before I even met wife. The deed is in my sole name. The loan is in my name. I pay the property taxes. I pay the electric, water, trash, and high-speed internet. I pay the lease on her SUV. I pay her auto, insurance. Wife works a part-time job at a boutique, roughly 20 hours a week. She makes decent money doing it, but every single cent she earns goes straight into her personal checking account. It funds her clothes, her brunches, her gym membership, and her trips with her friends. I have never once asked her for a dime toward the household expenses. "You're serious?" I said, dead serious. Wife replied, "My time has value." The blog laid it out perfectly. A private chef costs $50 an hour. A maid costs $40. I'm giving you a heavy discount because we're married. $35 for dinner. I already sent another request for $20 because I folded your laundry. "Okay," I said. Her eyebrows shot up. "Okay, you're paying it." "Sure, I understand. Your time has value." I pulled out my phone, accepted both requests, and transferred the $55 to her account. She looked victorious. She served me the chicken. We ate in complete silence. For the next 3 weeks, I played her game. I paid $15 for vacuuming. I paid $10 every time she emptied the dishwasher. I paid $40 for a deep clean of the guest bathroom. I paid $30 for a Sunday breakfast. Every time my phone buzzed with a Venmo request, I authorized it immediately. I didn't argue. I didn't complain. I just documented it. I exported every single Venmo receipt into a master spreadsheet. She got greedy. The requests became more frequent and increasingly absurd. $5 for sorting the mail. $12 for scheduling the HVAC maintenance. She was treating our marriage like a gig economy hustle. She was walking around the house with this smug, untouchable attitude, convinced she had finally broken the system and achieved ultimate financial independence. What she didn't know was that I had spent my lunch breaks consulting a spreadsheet of my own. I was calculating the exact market value of the life I was providing her. If we were going to commodify our existence, we were going to do it accurately. On the 28th of the month, the total she had extracted from me hit $750. That evening, I sat down at my laptop, opened a fresh document, and began drafting an invoice. I printed it on heavy-duty paper. I wanted it to have some weight to it. Wife was on the couch watching reality TV when I handed it to her. She took the piece of paper, looking completely confused. "What is this?" "Your bill," I said. Since we are now operating on a strictly transactional market value basis, she looked down at the sheet. I had itemized everything. Fair market rent for a 3-bedroom home in our zip code was $2,800. Her 50% share, $1,400. Electricity, her share, $90. Water and trash, her share, $35. High-speed internet, her share, $40. Auto lease for the vehicle in my name, $550. Auto insurance, $135. Groceries, which I purchased 100% of $400. Total load, $2,650. At the bottom, I included a domestic labor credit of $750 to reflect the Venmo payments I had made to her over the last 3 weeks. Total balance due by the 1st of next month. I read aloud to her. $1,900. I accept Venmo, Zelle, or a direct bank transfer. Her face went pale then, violently red. She stood up, throwing the paper right at my chest. Are you insane? I'm your wife. You can't charge me rent. You charge me to sort our mail, I said calmly. You charge me for chicken. You wanted a transactional household based on the blog. This is the transactional household. You're living in an asset I own. You're driving a car I finance. If my time and resources don't matter, then neither do yours. You owe me $1,900. The entitlement exploded. She screamed that I was financially abusing her. She said I was weaponizing my income. I didn't engage. I just walked into the kitchen, poured a glass of water, and went to bed. The dirty tricks started the very next morning. I woke up to find the refrigerator physically padlocked. She had bought a heavy-duty chain and a combination lock from the hardware store, wrapping it around the double doors. She left a bright pink sticky note on it. Asterisk my groceries. Do not touch. I just ordered breakfast delivery on my phone, ate it on the porch, and went to work. When I came home that evening, the internet was down. She had reset the router and changed the password. She sat on the couch, glaring at me. The Wi-Fi is an unpaid amenity. I'm withholding it until you drop this ridiculous invoice. I pulled up the internet provider's app on my cellular data. The account is entirely in my name. I remotely rebooted the router, reset the password, and paused all of her specific devices. Her phone and iPad immediately lost connection. The look of sheer panic on her face was deeply satisfying. Then Mother called. Mother is my wife's mother. A woman who raised her daughter to believe the world owes her a red carpet everywhere she walks. The moment I answered the phone, Mother started screaming into the receiver. How dare you send my daughter an invoice? You are a provider. You are a man. You're supposed to take care of her. She wanted to be an independent contractor. I said, I'm just collecting all my overhead. Drop the bill, or I am coming over there and packing her things myself. Mother threatened. I'll leave some empty boxes on the porch. I replied and hung up the phone. Wife was furious. She realized the tantrums weren't working. She realized I was completely unaffected by the chaos, but her desperation was escalating in a way that felt strange to me. She wasn't just angry about the principal. She was frantic. She was pacing the floors. She kept checking her bank accounts on her phone using her limited cellular data. She needed cash badly, and she needed it immediately. That night, while she was taking a shower, I sat at the kitchen island. I opened my laptop. I needed to know why this blog had suddenly become her financial Bible. I needed to know where her part-time income and my $750 in Venmo payments were actually going. Wife's Venmo profile was set to private, but the people she transacted with weren't always as careful. I searched her username on a friend's phone earlier that day and looked through the public feed. Nothing. Then I remembered her iPad. It was still disconnected from the Wi-Fi, sitting on the bedside table. I walked into the bedroom, picked it up, and bypassed the lock screen using the passcode she hadn't bothered to change in 3 years. I opened her messages. I opened her banking app, which was still logged in. The $750 I had sent her for domestic labor hadn't stayed in her account. It was transferred out almost instantly. The recipient, a contact, saved in her phone as coworker. I opened her text messages with coworker. The truth was right there laid out in blue and gray bubbles. Coworker wasn't just a coworker. He was her affair partner. And coworker was completely broke. Wife had been funding this guy's life for 6 months. She was paying for his meals, buying him clothes, and covering the cost of the cheap motel rooms they used across town. But coworker had recently gotten a DUI and lost his job. He was demanding more money from her to cover his rent and legal fees. Wife's part-time income couldn't cover her own lifestyle, let alone his legal fees and rent. That was the catalyst. There was no feminist awakening. There was no blog. It was a desperate monetization scheme. She needed a way to extract cash directly from me without asking for a lump sum, which would require an explanation. The cleaning fees were just a cover to bleed me dry $10 and $20 at a time to keep her lover afloat. I scrolled through messages where she complained about me. "He's so stupid," she wrote. "I charged him $30 just for turning on the dishwasher, and he paid it." I took out my own phone. I photographed every single message. I photographed the bank transfers. I photographed the motel receipts she had forwarded to her email. I compiled an airtight dossier of her betrayal. When wife walked out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around her hair. I put the iPad down. I didn't say a single word. I just got into bed and went to sleep. I needed everything to be legally perfect. The next evening, the escalation hit its peak. I came home from work. The invoice deadline was approaching. Wife was standing in the kitchen. She looked completely unhinged. She had a heavy ceramic dinner plate in her right hand. "Drop the invoice," she said, her voice shaking. "Transfer $2,000 into my account right now, or I'm going to ruin your life." I stopped in the doorway. "Excuse me, you're financially starving me," she said, breathing heavily. "You're isolating me. If you don't give me the money, I'm going to smash this plate against my own forehead. I'm going to call 911. I'm going to tell them you hit me. You'll go to jail. I will get a restraining order, and I will have exclusive use of this house." It was the ultimate dirty trick, a vile, calculated move to destroy my life, put me behind bars, and steal my home just to fund a loser she was sleeping with. She raised the plate, ready to strike herself. "Look up," I said quietly. She paused. "What?" I pointed to the small, black dome tucked into the corner of the ceiling above the kitchen cabinets. "I installed that 3 weeks ago. When you suddenly started demanding money for every little household task, my gut told me something was very wrong. It records 4K video and audio directly to a secure cloud server. It is recording right now." The color completely drained from her face. The plate trembled in her hand. "Go ahead," I said. "Smash it. The police will love the footage." Slowly, her arm dropped. She placed the plate gently on the counter. She looked terrified. "Pack a bag," I told her. "We are done." I didn't wait for her to pack. The very next morning, I took the day off and met with my attorney. We went over everything. Because the house was purchased entirely with my funds before the marriage, and her name was never added to the deed, it was legally recognized as my sole and separate property. However, evicting a spouse can be complicated. But I had the video footage of her threatening to fabricate a domestic violence charge to steal the home. My lawyer immediately filed a petition for divorce. We opted for a fault-based filing citing adultery. In our state, proven adultery completely bars the cheating spouse from receiving any alimony. Alongside the divorce petition, my lawyer filed an emergency motion for exclusive use and possession of the marital residence, submitting the video footage of her extortion and self-harm threat to the judge. To cover all bases regarding her presence in my separate property, we also drafted a formal 30-day notice to quit. At 5 p.m., a process server knocked on our front door and handed wife the massive stack of legal documents. She read the papers in the hallway. She completely broke down. The fake tough girl persona evaporated into thin air. She fell to her knees, sobbing, begging me to reconsider. She claimed it was a huge mistake that co-worker had manipulated her, that she truly loved me. "You charged me $35 for dinner so you could pay for a motel room to sleep with another man." I said, "You don't love me. You love my wallet." The next day, I enacted the final piece of the plan. I called the auto dealership. I was the soulless and financially responsible party on her SUV. I drove the car to the lot, surrendered the keys, and paid the early termination penalty. It cost me $2,000, and it was worth every single penny to see it gone. I took a rideshare back home. Wife walked out of the house a few hours later looking for her car to go to her part-time job. It was gone. She called Mother absolutely hysterical. Mother immediately called me screaming about lawyers and suing me for everything I owned and ruining my reputation in town. I didn't argue. I just opened a group chat on my phone with wife, mother, and father. I attached the screenshots of the Venmo transfers to her affair partner. I attached the text messages between wife and co-worker discussing their motel meetups. I attached the hotel receipts. Finally, I attached the video clip of wife holding the plate, threatening to frame me for domestic violence. I sent one single text to the group asterisk. This is why we are getting a divorce. Direct all further communication to my attorney. Asterisk silence. Absolute deafening silence from her family. Mother never called me again. Wife had to beg a friend to come pick her up that evening. She hauled 3 heavy suitcases into the back of a small sedan. She tried to move in with coworker, but without my house, my car, and my money flowing through her accounts, coworker suddenly lost all interest. He dumped her a week later. She moved into mother's spare bedroom. She has no vehicle, a part-time job that barely covers her new legal fees, and a massive mountain of credit card debt she took out trying to keep coworker around after I cut off the funds. The divorce is proceeding flawlessly because of the irrefutable evidence of infidelity and her documented extortion attempt. Her lawyer took one look at our evidence and advised her to accept a walkway settlement. She gets exactly what she brought into the marriage. Nothing. I am sitting on my back porch right now. The house is quiet. The fridge is completely unlocked. I cook my own dinners, and nobody sends me a bill for the privilege of eating them. The piece is expensive, but it is undoubtedly the best purchase I have ever made. If you want to read more stories about petty spreadsheets and invoices successfully dismantling toxic marriages, hit that subscribe button before I decide to charge you a reading fee.